solve the system of equations. If you notice, we have three variables in this case, x, y, and z. Since we have three unknowns, we need to have three equations. Now, we are going to be solving it by combination. You need to decide if you're going to cancel the x's, if you're going to cancel the y's, or if you're going to cancel the z's. Sometimes it's easier to cancel one of them. In this case, x's look pretty easy because we have two x's by themselves. Y's look pretty easy because the y's are by themselves, two of them. The coefficients are 1. And the z's, we have a 6, 6, and a 3, so that'll be easy to cancel. But let's just go and cancel the x's. Remember that you want to grab two equations and you want to cancel the x's twice. So in this case, we're going to get the first and the last equation. And I want to cancel the x's, so I'm going to multiply by -1, the first one. That'll give me a -x minus 2y minus 6z. And don't forget to multiply the last with -1. That gives me -5. The last equation remains the same. And I usually put my 1s just to make sure that I don't make any mistakes. If you make a little mistake, then you're going to have to go back and find it. And hopefully that's not the case today. So it gives me a -1y. That gives me a -3z. And that will give me a 0. Remember, zeros are okay. We can have a 0 here. Now I'm going to cancel the x's once again. Remember, if you cancel the x's first, you want to cancel the x's again. I'm going to get the first and second equation, and I'm going to multiply the first equation by -2. That gives me a -2x minus 4y minus 12z is equal to -10. The second equation remains the same, and I prefer if you guys place your 1 as a coefficient, just to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. And that's a positive. See, I was about to make a mistake here. That will cancel the x's. That gives me a -3y minus 6z is equal to -3. Next, now that I have two equations and they both have y's and z's, I can combine both equations and cancel the y's or the z's. Let's see, they both look about the same. So let's go and cancel the y's, or do you prefer the z's? Let's cancel the z's. Let's go and multiply the top equation by -2, so that becomes a +6, and that will cancel with a -6. That gives me a 2y plus 6z, and -2 times 0 gives me 0. Last equation, or the bottom equation, stays the same. The z's cancel, and that will give me a -1y is equal to -3, or y is equal to +3. Now that I found my y value, I need to go back one step and plug it in. So you can decide to plug into the first or second equation. I think the first one looks a little bit easier to solve for. So let's go and find, if I plug in the y in here, that will give me my z. So let's go and find z. That is -1, but instead of the y, I'm going to replace it with a 3. With a +3. Right, this is simple. With a +3, that will give me a -3 minus 3z is equal to 0. Move my 3 to the right, becomes a negative, or becomes a positive, so z is equal to -1. So right now my solution is going to be x, y, and z. So the y is a +3, my x is a negative, my z is a -1. So now I just need to find x. To find x, you're going to take those two values and plug it into any of those three equations. It doesn't matter, you get the same answer. So let's go and plug into the first equation. Let's go and find x. I'm going to find x. Let's plug into the first equation, so it'll be x plus 2y plus 6z is equal to 5. But instead of the y, I'm going to plug in a positive 3. Instead of the z, I'm going to plug in a negative 1. That gives me x plus 6 minus 6 is equal to 5. X, that cancels out, is equal to 5. So my x value is equal to 5. Now remember that if you get a fraction, it will be probably incorrect in the problems that we are giving you. So you need to go back and make sure that you multiply, and you need to go back step by step and say, okay, did I multiply each of them correctly? Did I copy it correctly? Did I add correctly? And you need to go back and find your mistake, or just take a separate piece of paper and redo everything and see if you get the right answer the second time.